Hello everyone, it's Mr. Wiki here again with my notebook, this pencil, this computer, me, and some water. And welcome back to another episode of the Akira. No, and welcome back to Wattpad Reviews with another episode, another chapter of the Akira files. Welcome back. So, I have nothing much to say other than the fact that uploads will become steady due to school, of course, as they always do. Another interesting thing. Wait, actually, I'll talk about this after I can actually officially. You want no? Let's talk about this right now. So yeah, in this chapter, Ramen, we get a good look at what Akira probably looks like. Yeah, she disguised herself as a guy, and she disguised herself as a guy. So I'm assuming this is what she looks like currently. That's what I'm assuming. This is the first look at our protagonist. You see, I got some random image on the internet. Remember in the first episode? Yeah, that probably wasn't accurate. But whatever, let us officially continue. Ramen by Eve066, dedicated to Moonlight Shadow 5378. Let me get a good drink of water before I start. Ah. Okay. We had just left Gramps' office. I'm not sure why I had called them that, but from what I've read, he's the typical grandfather type. He smiles, he's kind, he's respected, and he's old. That's pretty much the criteria. That's pretty much the criteria. At least I think. My grandpa died before I was born. I think that or he hates the family. Either way, he's no longer in the picture. Weird? Yes, but I didn't really care. Sadly, Gramps gave me the terrible news that I had to live with the perverted, scolding, crazy, still scolding, old, but not old, still scolding man. Did I forget to mention that he scolded me for calling the Kokage Gramps? Apparently that's really taboo here. I don't see why. He smiled when I called him that, so he wasn't upset about it. He's probably realized he's old and it's been some huge secret that's been kept from him. During my inner monologue, Kakashi continued talking about the rules, respect, and expectations. Will he ever shut up? I thought myself while rolling his eyes. Not gonna lie, that was pretty bratty of you, Akira. Damn. Good lord. Listen, I'm not interested in your vet. It was then that I realized I was still dragging him behind me, even though I had no clue where we were going, and I'm still really hungry. I dropped Kakashi's hand, and not 2 seconds later, my stomach decided to loudly indicate it needed food. I stopped and turned to Kakashi. Kakashi had stopped scolding me and regarded me with amusement and a hint, a very small hint of worry. Can we get something to eat? I'm starved, I said, holding my growling stomach. Yeah, I'll get you some food soon, I mentally tried to tell it. Sure, when was the last time you ate? We started to walk again, but this time Kakashi led and I followed. I stayed as close as I could without running into him as we were entering a busy street. People were going every which way trying to complete their last-minute shopping before the sun goes down. I last ate properly about 3 days ago. Why? I paused to think, has it really been that long? 3 days isn't that long to go without food. No reason. Here's a good place, he said, stopping in front of a ramen bar. Ichiraku's Okay, Ichiraku's ramen shop, I read. Sounds good. Smells good. Now what exactly is ramen? I nodded silently as I walked under the overhanging flaps ahead of him. I sat down in the nearest corner even though no one else was there. I guess it was a habit. I didn't like people noticing me. It usually didn't end well if they did. Kakashi walked in and gave me a curious look before sitting down next to me. The man running the place that looked over then and asked what we'd like to order. Nothing for me, thanks. And for Akira? Kashi turned expectantly towards me. Oh, I mean, whatever's best, I said casually. Alright, one miso ramen for him. I don't even know what a miso ramen is. I should probably search up an image and paste it over this part of the video. Truthfully, I'd never had ramen before. Never tasted it, never smelled it. I've only heard of it once, maybe twice. Kakashi's POV. He ate 2 to 3 days ago, but he decided to not mention it until now. You'd think he'd speak up. Although earlier he wouldn't shut up. Just what have I gotten myself into? I took him to Ichikaru's ramen because it's the closest to where we were, and it's not that expensive either. Akira walked in before me. I looked around and saw that the street was slowly getting less crowded as it was nearing night. I walked in shortly after Akira to see him sitting on the corner of the bar. This surprised me. Why is he sitting there when there are plenty of other seats available? And why is he being so quiet? He could have ordered already, but it looks as though he just walked in and sat down. He's not shy, at least not from what I've seen, so what's with him? I sat down next to Akira and the men Tuichi, I don't know how to pronounce this name, guys. Tiuchi. Okay. The man, Tiuchi, turned almost instantly. Akira tensed up under his eye as Tiuchi tried to recognize the new face. He finally gave up and tried to ask what we'd like to order. I figured I should do the ordering. Nothing for me, thanks. And for Akira? No, man. Whatever. And look at this comment amount. Oh my god. Look at this. Whatever has 2,500 comments. Just the word whatever. And it's all about people asking why there are comments on whatever. Yeah. Well, okay, back to the story. Well, this new Akira doesn't seem to be the brooding antisocial type. Then again, his personality keeps on surprising me. I guess I should order for him. Maybe miso ramen would be his taste. Then again, he's been starved these past few days. I guess anything would be good as long as it's food. Alright, one miso ramen for him. I glanced over to see Akira looking on as the man cooked. He seemed curious, or suspicious, watching the man's every move. The longer I watched Akira, the more assured I became that Akira was suspicious. Akira's POV. When Kakashi ordered me miso ramen. When Kakashi ordered me miso ramen, I admit I was curious. What does it look like? What does it smell like? Taste like? How is it made? I had to know the answers now. Once a question I asked, I wanted to know the answer. So first I observed how he made it. I watched every move and every detail. When I saw that the ingredient he used and what methods he used to cook it, I felt someone watching me, so I shifted my gaze slightly to see Kakashi staring me in the eyes. Slightly cold, it didn't help to seem that he seemed on edge. What's he staring for? What's he staring for? Oh, I smirked at him, returning my gaze to the man. He thinks I have ill will towards the guy, as my brother would put it. A little while later, I had a big bowl in front of me filled with broth, noodles, and everything else. Damn it, how do I eat this? I tilted my head a little and stared at the bowl. I looked ahead and saw chopsticks. I slipped them from the paper and broke them apart. Alright, what do I do now? I inwardly sighed. It looks like I'm going to need to ask for help. I glanced at Kakashi, biting my tongue a little. I hate asking for help, and of all the people, I had to ask him. I put the chopsticks down and turned a bit so I could talk to him properly. I put my head down slightly so the ramen chef wouldn't hear me. I mean, this was embarrassing enough without everyone knowing. I'm guessing these are our usual utensils here. Okay, I found this to be odd. Why doesn't Akira know how to use chopsticks? I mean, I haven't read or watched Naruto, but I do know the areas within are pretty Japanese inspired. So, it shouldn't be. I'm sure. I mean, did they use chopsticks in their country? I don't know. What is their country even inspired off of anyway? Europe? America? I don't know. All I know is that she got kicked out for her, her war crimes. Hey, Kakashi. I leaned over a bit. What is it, Akira? Kakashi looked at me puzzled. How do I use these? I pointed glumly at the chopsticks. He looked at me with surprise and then amusement before smiling with his eyes closed. How do you know he's smiling? He's wearing the mask thing. Damn, he's never gonna let this go. I inwardly cringed. Alright, well, first, Kakashi grabbed chopsticks as I slid back so I was once again facing the ramen that might have just ruined my pride for the next century. A little while later, I had gotten the hang of eating with chopsticks. Oh, I get it now. Thanks. I said as I happily ate my ramen. This tastes incredible. I can't believe I've never heard of it. I dove into the rest and finished it within seconds. Leaning back, I sighed contentedly before my hunger rose again. One more bowl. And then, yeah, you should probably expect what's happening. Kakashi's POV. Well, that took a while, but it was worth it. Akira seemed rather pleased with himself. I can't believe he's never used chopsticks before. I wonder what he's been using until now. I was pulled from my speculation as Akira's voice broke the silence with a satisfied, done. I looked over and my eyes went wide. I looked at the bowls. Yes, bowls. All 5 of them. How did you finish that quickly? He was just on his first bowl, and now he finished 5. What the hell happened? When did he even get the chance to order them all? I looked over to see a chef also wide-eyed with surprise. His mouth was wide open before a smile edged along his face. Akira's POV. You know, kid, you remind me of a customer of mine. No. You know, kid, you remind me of a customer of mine. So, yeah. You know what? I'm going to take a water break real quick. It was just a small one. Oh, weird. Because there's only one of me. At least last time I checked. Unless I'm a clone destined for the chopping block. Now, I'm not saying this is a legitimate criticism, but Akira of copying... No, Akira a copy of Naruto confirmed? Oh no, man, just complete clone? No uniqueness? No, she seems a tad bit more unique, nah. Ha, right you are. Guess they just both really like eating ramen. It's lucky that only one of you. It's lucky that there's only one of you. I'm not sure if I could handle two of you. Alright. Kakashi. Alright. Kakashi placed the money on the counter. Thank you for the food. Akira, let's go. So back again with Kakashi's POV. We walked away with a less moody Akira and a much lighter wallet. I felt a sweat drop form on the back of my head. This kid is going to cost me a lot. I thought to myself as we made our way to my place and, for the time being, Akira's new home. And that is the end of this chapter of the Akira Files. Ramen. So yeah. This has been... So yeah, let us now do what we normally do. The pros and the cons. Yeah, I believe this is the pros and cons. Yeah. So honestly, there's only one pro and one con I could really think of. And even so, the con was kind of minor. Overall, this was a good chapter, everyone. The pro is that it was really funny and relaxing filler. I don't know. It just gave me that vibe, It was relaxing. It just like it feels like a filler episode, but not a trashy filler episode, It felt kind of fleshed out to me, at least. And the con is that, well, Akira acted kind of bratty that one time. Like, if an adult explains to you the rules, and I don't know, man, there's nothing you can really do about it, so you may as well hear them. You probably will get yourself decapitated less if you do. But I guess those are the pros and cons. So yeah. I hope you guys are doing well through this. Doing well in school, doing well in work. But yeah, that's the end of this episode of Wattpad Reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah. Consider subscribing and liking, of course. This was Mr. Wicking. And remember, I want your admiration, not your idolization.